Well, look what we got here. It's Snap Turtle in the truck on his way to work. And before I turn it back to me, I just want y'all to see what's going on in the sky right now. See all that? Okay? See all those straight formations, those parallel formations next to each other? Those are from chemtrails, okay? From aerosol spraying into the stratosphere that have been irradiated by phased array, um, phased array dishes or whatever. That they heat up these particles and they irradiate it and it spreads out like this, creates a blanket, creates a high pressure dome that prevents any real moisture from getting into the area it's over. I go over this over and over again because I just want y'all to understand what's happening in the world today. Okay? Tomorrow, it's supposed to start raining here in Southern California. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain Thursday. It's supposed to rain Saturday. It stops and it comes back again on Monday. Straight checkerboard. Now, you want to tell me, not you, Derek, but people want to tell me, oh, these are natural clouds. The hell they are. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Some of that might be real cloud formations, like off to the east there. But nah, man. Hold on, I gotta fix the value. Look at that. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. Now these might be some natural cloud formations here. Right, I don't know. You can't tell anymore. If it's not obvious, it looks like all part of the same formation. But yeah, no, yeah, chemtrails definitely are natural. I filmed a plane releasing condensation trails in the atmosphere, and you could see the trail was very short. It did not stick around. It dissipated very quickly because it was kind of warm yesterday. So I know it's colder in the atmosphere. I know it's colder in the stratosphere, but it was not cool enough to keep that condensation in the air like that. But now look what we got. See, sometimes they'll spray these chemtrails above cloud formations. Okay, and then they'll irradiate these sulfates, right? And then, hold on, they'll irradiate the sulfates so that, all the particulates can go into the cloud and disperse the cloud. You're getting rid of the nucleus of the cloud. This is what prevents rain from coming. Okay? Yep. Horizon to horizon. That's how they're doing this today. They really don't want it to rain tomorrow. Okay? They really want this fire season to turn into a year-round thing. Okay? They need that bullet train to crack. You know what I'm saying? So today, I want to talk about weaponized idiots. Okay? Idiots of mass destruction. Okay? Because these idiots that I'm referring to are those that are put out in front of people 24/7. They influence the masses. About 7/10 of a mile to West Sloughs Avenue. They really don't put a lot of thought into what they're telling people. They're just doing it because they're getting paid to do it, and it's the cool thing to do. They go with whatever narrative is presented to them. And there's also regular people that are idiots of mass destruction, because while they might not be as influential as someone famous, they might have a great following. It is a hoax. You know what's warming the globe right now? When you spray these particulates and you irradiate them, you create these high pressure domes, and the heat can't escape at night. That's the whole point. The heat cannot escape at night. So what happens is you get this high pressure dome at night, and none of that, all the heat that's in the ground, all the heat that's on the earth can release back out into the atmosphere because it's trapped. So, and this is the whole point behind geoengineering, okay? To reflect the sunlight out, back out into space, and to trap the heat in underneath this high pressure dome they're creating. And it only cools the earth temporarily, right? Like volcanoes, they like to use volcanic ash as an example of how doing this spraying can help cool the planet. But what comes out of the volcanoes are not what they're putting in these chemical compounds.
About 1
all right,
mile to
they're putting a lot more shit.
Street.
You know, yeah, the volcanoes might release sulfur into the air, but nah, it's not sticking around. It's going to fall, and the ash of it in these volcanoes are good for the soil. It fertilizes the soil because of the sulfur. Sulfur is an element that is needed for life, for organic life. Sulfur, nitrous, or not nitrous, nitrogen, carbon. There's 4. I forgot what the 4th one is. Carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, and something else. I know, Derek, you might know. So if you know, let me know. Anyway, so I want to talk about this article that came out where this group of scientists are talking about spraying the atmosphere or the stratosphere with these aerosol sprays, right? And they're saying that they want to do it in the future, okay? They're saying they want to do it in the future, even though they've been doing it since at least the late 80s, early 90s, okay? They've been doing it for decades already. But now, because they can't hide it any longer, because more people are becoming aware of it, because the information is getting dispersed, you know, by means they can't control, they want to put it out there, right? Oh, this is what we propose to do, okay? And then they tell us, you know what, I should have put the link to the article in the description box. I'll do that later. But they'll tell you, oh, this has never been done before. You'll have people that say that it's been being done. But no, that's not true. It has been done, okay? Now, it's coming to a head, okay? They want to get the people on board, all right? Because people will hear anything. They'll take anything and accept anything that says, oh, you know, oh, we're cooling the earth now? Oh, we're going to stop the icebergs from melting in the Arctic? Oh, well, let's do what we got to do. Let's spray this shit in the air. Oh, volcanoes do it all the time? All right, let's do it. Okay? They get the people on board by saying this bullshit in this article. And they're not going to tell anybody that this has been happening for a long time. And what it has done is, this is what created the global warming. Okay? They want to tell us our carbon footprint. Our carbon footprint. Anthropogenic carbon.
Next right.
Yeah, I might check that out later.
Left turn.
Yeah, put that in the comments for me, Derek, when you get a chance, when this video's over, so I can check that out. I can't really read real tough right now. I'm driving, so. But what they're telling you is, oh, this hasn't been done, and they want to spray this shit in the air. And, you know, the thing about these nanoparticulates is that they're full of neurotoxins like barium and aluminum. And, you know, if you check out Dane Wigington, he is a guy. Hey, what's up? What's up, Stacy? What's up, Sister Stacy? What's going on with you? If you check out Dane Wigington, he'll put you on, right? He lived off the grid. He lived off the grid. Strontium, all kind of shit. All kind of polymers from plastics. It's crazy. So this guy, Dane Wigington, used to live out in the wilderness in Northern California. And he had a solar field and all that. He was completely off the grid, was doing his own thing. All right? And he was there for 10 years. Well, in the last few years of him being there, he noticed that his solar panels were getting much less uptake. And at the same time, he noticed all this spraying in the air of these nanoparticulates coming out of the back of planes that they like to call contrails, okay? And he noticed that they were sticking around and that they were spreading out. And so solar uptake was being diminished, right, in his solar panels, all right? And then the trees around him started dying, okay? They started dying out of nowhere, okay? And then he wasn't getting as much rain. So you had all these things compounding, okay? And all these things compounded. And so he decided that he wanted to test the soil, okay? Test the soil around his home. And he did. He went and got it tested at a lab and found that
Next sharp
the
right
soil was
onto
full of these
I-110
nanoparticulates.
south, and then
Okay,
the
every
freeway is straight ahead.
every compound and chemical in this soil could be found in the patent, right? The patent created for
Proceed on
atmospheric
I-110
spraying compounds,
south.
okay? Atmospheric aerosols, okay? So this has been happening for at least 10 years over his home, where he wanted to live sustainable, where he wanted to do his own thing. But of course, that's not what they want. They want everybody to be dependent on them, okay? So that's one thing. Okay, so you have this article that came out, and you know, I'm listening to the Joe Budden podcast this morning, and his latest episode. You know, I like to listen to his podcast because, you know, he reaches the masses, right? He's getting a lot of ground and notoriety, and he has a lot of influence. So I like to see what the influencers are doing with their influence, okay? And I spoke on him before. But he brings up this article or this paper that came out from this environmental group that suggested that we spray the air with aerosols. But he brought it up, and instead of saying that, oh yeah, they want to spray the air with aerosols, they want to inject aerosols in the atmosphere or the stratosphere, he says, oh, I think they want to put some stuff in the soil, and they want to put some special soil in the ground so that, oh, the air will be cooler. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? Are you serious right now? They want to put special soil on the ground? That's what you got? So, this is an example. All right. Now he went ahead. Now his buddies, of course, they're yes men, and they're not going to correct him right away. They're not going to say, hold on, player. That's not how it goes. That's not what they were talking about. But they did kind of like, I'm not sure that's what that's about. All right. They did correct him a little bit. So he decided to look it up, and he stated the correct shit. Okay. So, and this is when I say, Joe Budden, stick to hip hop. All right, stick to hip hop analyzing. Okay, stick to hip hop, stick to entertainment, stick to all that gossip, stick to Cardi B, stick to the beef between this rapper and that rapper. Please do not come with that bullshit. All right, and the same thing goes with gun control. All right, we don't want to hear nothing about gun control from idiots who know nothing about guns and know nothing about shit and don't research and don't do their own research and don't, you know, they just go with what's being said. They go with what they like to hear, you know.
Continue on.
So that's an example of a weaponized idiot, an idiot of mass destruction that has so much influence over the youth and over so many people, you know. So it just pisses me off when I see shit like that. And it's like, who's really talking that real shit? You know, we want to keep talking about, this is another thing, man. Listen, the FBI is not your friend, okay? In regards to Tekashi 6ix9ine, the FBI has been doing what the FBI does since its inception. They manipulate, they'll lie. You know, law enforcement can lie. They can lie in order to gain ground in their investigation. They're allowed to lie. They can manipulate, they can lie. They can tell you your partner snitching on you, you know what I'm saying, so that you'll snitch on him. You know, they'll play games. They'll use you as bait, right? They'll use you as bait. They'll know that something's about to happen to you, and they'll wait till the last minute to snatch your ass up. So it's real. So you know how real it is. Okay? And the FBI is out for blood. They want to give you as many years as possible. They want to take all your money. They seize all your money. They'll seize your money even if you haven't been charged with a crime. All you have to have is their suspicion. Okay? All they need is suspicion to seize your money. Why do we not know this? It's been happening all the time. It happens to regular people. Okay? If the FBI thought that I belong to a terrorist group, they can seize my money whether it's legally gotten or not. This is what the FBI does, man. So you look at this. Look at what's happening to Tekashi as a cautionary tale of how not to be an idiot. And Tekashi 6ix9ine is an idiot of mass destruction as well. Okay, because his influence and the shit he's been doing on the internet, all over the world, all over the country, trolling this gangster, trolling that gangster. You know what I'm saying? Trolling Jay Prince, putting a lot of shit on his own head. Okay, Shotty's in there too, talking shit to that gangster, talking shit to that gangster, Treyway, all that bullshit. You know, that's what it is. So that shit came back to bite their ass. What you thought? you film all this illegal shit, you put it out there, you thought the FBI was gonna do what? Nah, man. FBI is not your friend. They are not obligated to play fair. They do not have to play fair with your ass. And I do not feel bad for Tekashi at all, because he's his own man. Another example of an idiot of mass destruction influencing the people and the youth. Okay? We have to get away from these idiots. If we don't have discernment, right? If we can't discern what's idiotic and what's not, then maybe we should stop watching TV. Maybe we should stop listening to music. Maybe you should read a book. Read a book. Go train. Go camping. Go to the river. Go to the lake. Do some shit. Stop watching these idiots who do dumb shit, and then you're surprised when shit happens to them. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, come on, man. We gotta do better than that. We gotta do better than that. No, because no one's gonna protect you if you get caught doing some dumb shit. If you grown, right, in the law, if you're 18, you're a grown ass man. Period. Okay? You should have some type of experience. You should have enough experience and knowledge to know that when you do dumb shit, you do illegal shit, and you know it's illegal. You get caught, that's it. It's a wrap. So off of that Tekashi bullshit, I'm tired of talking about it. And I'm only talking about it because I keep hearing about this bullshit. Every time I turn around and I look at something, I'm on social media, everybody's feeling bad for this little boy who's not a fucking little boy, just because he's throwing on a sad face and going into court looking like a motherfucking reading rainbow motherfucker, looking like Starbright. That don't mean that motherfucker is Starbright. He's not a little pony. Okay, he's a man with colorful hair. You know what? For my sister's wedding, my grown-ass brother, who was probably 32, 33 at the time, decided to go to her wedding with rainbow hair. Yes, he did. He had a Gumby. I don't know if y'all remember the Gumby hairstyle. He decided to cut his hair into a style of the Gumby and color it in 3 different colors, like 3, 4, 5 different colors. Okay, but he was still a grown-ass man. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be stupid, man. You know, and there's just a lot of shit going on in the world. All right. Oh yeah. Here's another idiotic thing for you people in New York. All right, people in New York, you can't let this go down. All right, you cannot let this go down. Apparently, this congressman, this black congressman in Brooklyn, wants to put in place a law that says if you want to own a gun, a handgun, you have to give up all of your passwords to your social media accounts. That's right. Look it up. He wants to have access to your social media accounts if you decide you want to get a handgun. Where in the fuck did a black man be? He was probably already elected, but you guys probably elect him because he's black and you feel like he's for you. But now he's gonna make your ass give up your social media account information in order for you to own a handgun. Okay, let's get something straight. All right, and he's another idiot of mass destruction. Okay, and if you go down there and you roll with him on that shit, on that bill that he's introducing, then you're an idiot too. All right, you're an idiot. Let me tell you something about owning a gun. Okay, look at the Second Amendment. All right, look at the Second Amendment. Everybody likes to pick apart the Second Amendment, break it down, flush it out, and all that, because it's a living document, right? The Constitution is a living document. That means that it's ambiguous. That means it can be interpreted by courts, okay, right, in certain ways. But there is a limit to what you can interpret, particularly with the Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. All right. Know that shit. And the Bill of Rights, right? The Bill of Rights are the rights of the people, the regular citizens, the civilians, okay? That's what it was introduced for. Let's get that right. And the First and the Second Amendment are in the Bill of Rights. That means that amendment was written for the people, okay? Let's get something straight. Gun ownership is a right. It's not a fucking privilege, okay? Firearm ownership is a right, not a privilege. It's not like driving a car. And I'm sure if there were cars back then, they might have put that shit in the amendment too. I don't know. Or they might have made an amendment for that. As a matter of fact, there's something called freedom of travel, okay? No, this is the shit you have to know before you go and vote on shit, okay? Because every time you vote on dumb shit like this, you're giving up more of your rights to the point where they say, okay, let's repeal this amendment. And guess what? You ain't got it no more, okay? Because the Second Amendment, all right, is in the fucking Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments, okay? The first 10. It's a right of the people. You can't infringe on that. As a matter of fact, the Second Amendment says something about, I'm paraphrasing because it's not right in front of me, but something about the right of a free state, a well-regulated militia being necessary for a free state. The right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed. Okay, you hear that? A well-regulated mission being necessary, a well-regulated militia being necessary for a free state. Being necessary for a free state. The right of the people to bear arms, to keep, the right of the, and this is important, this is the important part. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Nothing ambiguous about that to me. Nothing ambiguous about it. And that was deliberate. The Second Amendment and the First Amendment particularly, and the Fourth Amendment, okay, the right to privacy, it gives you the right to privacy. All right, know your shit. The First, Second, and Fourth Amendment in particular are not ambiguous. It's very clear. When it says a well-regulated militia being necessary for a free state. Okay, that means that a militia is not an army. Let's get something straight right there. Okay, a militia is a civilian formed, it's a civilian formed force that has nothing to do with the military, the government military. Okay, being necessary for a free state. That means that, okay, when the Constitution was being accepted, okay, when the Constitution was written, the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist were bumping heads, okay, back in the 1700s or something like that. Okay, they were bumping heads. Or no, 1800s. I forgot exactly what. Don't nitpick with me, okay? The Federalists and Anti-Federalists were bumping heads about this Constitution because there were no Bill of Rights for the people, okay? The Anti-Federalists wanted a Bill of Rights to protect the rights of the people within their states, because the people wasn't having a central government. They did not want a central government. They just got rid of a central government when they had the Queen overseas treating them like shit. Okay? The Anti-Federalists and the Federalists were bumping heads. So guess what? The Federalists had to come up with a Bill of Rights, which included, the Bill of Rights included an amendment for the state. Okay? You gotta look that up. I think it's the 8th or 9th Amendment. Okay? Now, the states wanted to ensure the rights of its people, because the people were not having the central government and they would have raised hell. They say, look, we just had a central government riding roughshod over us. Okay? I know. It might be a little bit of a boring lesson, but it's very important. This is very fucking important. Okay? When people try to tell you what the Second Amendment means, you can have the knowledge and tell them to shove it up their fucking ass if they tell you what they think it means, and that it means that, oh, a militia is the National Guard. Are you fucking kidding me? The National Guard, that's what they think a militia is. It's not. Okay, so the first 10 amendments is a Bill of Rights. Okay? What that means is, when they say a well-regulated militia being necessary for a free state, this is what it means. That means that we can form, the people, the civilians, we can form a militia that is regulated, okay? It has to be regulated. You can't just run around doing anything you want, apparently, you know? I mean, you have to have some type of oversight so you don't get out of control and start doing shit like hanging niggers again. You know what I'm saying? You know, at the time of the the Constitution, they were still slaves. Listen, the point is, when they say a well-regulated militia, they're talking about a militia that is formed by the people, okay? Formed by the people. The people, okay? And, you know, in order for this to work, the people needed the right to keep and bear arms, so that when they go train together and do whatever they got to do, you know, you go train with this militia, you know, you form cohesion. It's very important, right? If you want to start a group like that, they needed to bring their arms. They needed to bring their own shit. And in order for that to work, they had to have the right to keep and bear them without being infringed upon. That's what that means. It's very simple. In order for us to have a militia, we need the right to keep and bear arms. We have a right to form a militia. We have a right to keep and bear arms. Now, what's regulated is the militia. What shall not be infringed upon is the right of the people to keep and bear arms. You hear me? It's that simple. See, in this sentence, there's a dependent clause and an independent clause. Everybody thinks that the right to keep and bear arms is the dependent clause. It's not. because it's second. Okay. It's the second clause. That does not mean that it's the dependent clause. That just means that it's the second clause. The independent clause is that second clause. The dependent clause is that first clause where they're telling you the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. You understand? That's what it is. But you'll have these pundits, these these so-called historians that think they know everything about a goddamn thing, but don't know plain damn English. They'll tell you that the second clause is a dependent clause. That means that you need the well-regulated militia. Only time you can keep bear arms is when that militia is formed. Like when you go in to the militia and you got to go to the armory and get your shit out. No. And they want to tell you we have militias. They're called National Guard. No. National Guard is part of the U.S. military. That's part of DOJ. That means that at any point, the feds can call upon that National Guard to do what they want them to do. The governor can control, right? It starts with the governor. The governor can control what this National Guard does, but the feds can override that shit. So don't get it twisted. The National Guard is not your fucking militia. It's the National Guard. National, okay? National. That's the whole point. That's why they didn't want no central government. Because of shit like this. They had to place the National Guard in each state. Okay? They had to have a National Guard in each state. Right? Because if the regular army is spread thin all over the country like they usually are, because we all up in somebody's business all the time, they need somebody back here in each state to keep us in check. That's what the National Guard is for, to keep us in check. It's not a militia. The governor can do what they want until the feds want to do what they want with it. Okay? But you got this idiot of mass destruction telling you that he wants you to give up your fucking privacy in order for you to own a handgun. To me, that sounds like an infringement upon my right to keep and bear arms. And you New Yorkers, you Brooklyners, if you go with this shit, you're an idiot. Okay? You're idiots. Because all this is going to do is going to send shockwaves through the nation. Oh, and every state going to want to do that. It's going to be statewide. There's going to be, all these states are going to want to do the same shit. It snowballs. It's dumb. And privacy, that's the Fourth Amendment. They can't do no search and seizures, right? Without due cause, without, you know what I'm saying, without probable cause. Okay? Your shit. They can't run up in your private shit without probable cause, without a fucking warrant. A warrant. But they want you to hand them the keys to your shit before you get a handgun without due cause, without a warrant. They are just violating our rights all over the place. And you know what we do? We go with that shit because we're cowards. We're cowards. We want to depend on the government to do everything for us. So why not give up a little bit of our rights at a time? Why not? Because I'm too fucking scared to do shit for myself. Not me. Nah. Nope. That's a bold move with what he's doing in New York. That's bold. That's one of the boldest things I've ever seen in regards to gun control legislation. Okay? It's a cold game, man. It's a cold game. Idiots of mass destruction are all around you. Okay? Idiots of mass destruction. It's only stealth to people who can't discern and analyze and break shit down. It ain't stealthy to me. This shit is clumsy as fuck. Especially those chemtrails that they're just now saying, oh, we want to do it in the future. Come on. Look it up. Look, all you got to do is look up. And look up how vapor works. Look up water vapor. Okay? Do you know all the water it takes and all the amount of evaporation into the atmosphere and the water and all the water vapor it takes to form a cloud, you know, a nucleus large enough to create a cloud that is significant for it to stay as long as it does? It takes a lot. You're not shooting that shit. You're not shooting water vapor out of the back of a plane and creating this big ass fucking formation. You're not doing it with water. It's clumsy to me. They're not stealthy. They trying to be stealthy because guess what? Most of us are idiots. But they don't really need stealth. Okay? They don't need stealth to do this. They don't. They just need to silence people like me and you. Because if you're watching my shit right now, you're not watching it for no fucking gossip. You're not watching it to learn the most recent entertainment news. I'm not on that shit. I'm on bringing awareness to shit that is happening to you right underneath your eyes and your nose. Okay? Listen, LBJ said it. They have the ability to form a world cloud layer. You know what that means? A world cloud layer? And in that, you can control the weather. And if you can control the weather, you can control the world. And what are they doing right now? With HAARP, with CERN, okay? With these fucking chemtrails. They're controlling the weather. They can make it do what it do, baby. They can put seeds in the sky that create rain clouds. They can do that. They can make it rain if they wanted to. They can make it snow. They can make it snow in certain parts of the world. Okay? They can make it snow. And it's chemical snow. You can see that. Look at Detroit, Lake Michigan. Okay? When they had them ice balls, that was a chemical reaction from that fucking fake chemical snow hitting the motherfucking water. They do what they want to do with this weather, man. And they're just not telling you they want to spray sulfates in the sky. And they mix the sulfur, they bond the sulfur to these metals and this plastic so that it can levitate, so it can stay in the air long. That's why it stay up there. That's why it don't come down as fast as it should if they're heavy metals and plastics and shit. They put sulfur in that shit to keep it floating, you know, in the sun, and then the little machine that heats it up spreads it out. It's the sulfur reacting to the heat. You ever seen ash from a volcano? That shit spreads out because the heat reacts with the sulfur, and the sulfur makes that shit float. So they need the sulfur to make the motherfucking metal float. Because you're not reflecting the sun without something shiny to float to do that shit back out. Well, I got Rand Corporation. I heard of them. Rand, Raytheon, all these different. Raytheon they're the weather controllers right there. Raytheon, that's their gig. Okay. And I forgot which country it was in the Middle East. Were complaining about the U.S. using weather warfare to create the 1,000-year flood, okay, or 1,000-year drought. 1,000-year drought. Look that up too. Okay. A drought that doesn't happen but for every 1,000 years. They made that shit happen mad early. Listen, global warming comes from weather, from geoengineering. That's what's causing it. They can make hurricanes sit over a state for as long as they want. They can hold that shit off. They can make a fucking hurricane sit still. You know it's a cold game when they doing that. And they don't care. They don't care. They think they can survive. They can go in their little bunkers and come back up in like 20, 30 years with their slaves and their sex slaves and all that shit. Nah, man. They're going to get destroyed right along with us. Anyway, I'd rather us not get destroyed. Anyway, I'm going to get back at y'all after work with another live. And, yeah, peace out. Much love to y'all. Thank you for watching. Peace.